voices.
Broadcast.
Hello and welcome to the broadcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everyone. This is season 6, episode 41, episode number 266. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Good. How you feeling, Amanda? You feeling better than a couple weeks ago?
Yes, I am, but we are rounding out daycare quarantine. So tomorrow is day 10, so she can go back to daycare on Thursday. Well,
oh my goodness.
Wow.
It's like this murky space of she went to daycare and then she started having symptoms, but she was still testing negative, but we kept her home anyway because we had it and we just wanted to be careful. So by the time she actually had a positive test,
Right.
you know, we're sort of trying to be responsible and basing the 10 days off of when she actually had a positive test, even though we probably could do it from earlier. But anyway, this may or may not be a mountain of my own making. But yeah, it's been exhausting. Daniel had to go back into the office this week.
Oh my God.
I've been trying to work and childcare at home by myself.
Oh, that is hard.
This week, it has been rough, which is, when the link came out, I was trying to catch up on email and the things that I didn't do today. So yeah, I'm pretty tired. I'm really, as fun as it's been, having her here, she's done all this, she walks now, she's walking. And
yeah.
Had this not happened, she would have started walking at daycare and how much of that would we have missed. So it has been cool in a lot of ways, but it's also we're in week 4 of her being out of daycare, when you count the spring break.
Damn.
So it's we all need to get back on a routine.
Yes.
That needs to happen. I can't afford to miss any more head down working days. But yeah.
Damn.
It's a lot.
I understand your pain. I am sorry. It is tough when it is really tough when you get off. But you're feeling better. Did you have a serious case of the Rona?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to, but it was bad enough that it was oh, I'm really glad I have a vaccine for that there's a vaccine for this.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad enough where I could tell oh, okay, if I didn't have antibodies for this, this would probably be terrible.
Yeah.
It's more the residual. It's just the tired and I would have moments where I couldn't breathe so well. And oh God, imagine
yeah. Not vaccinated and boosted, yeah.
Right. So I'm very thankful that, we are vaccinated. I'm very thankful that, I got vaccinated before giving birth and that I've been nursing this whole time so that baby girl had antibodies, which is probably why she fought it off so well.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, science. I appreciate you and I respect you.
Yeah.
Thank you, doctors and scientists and whoever developed the
Thank you to Brian, our favorite non-DP specialist's wife.
That is also true. So thank you. Big shout out.
Big shout out. I'm glad you guys had a overall not too serious case, but when you said struggling to breathe, I took a deep breath involuntarily. I was I could still breathe, right?
It was that kind of thing where you're sort of okay, because it kind of felt if someone has ever had a bad allergic reaction to something, you kind of, it gets a little hard to breathe. And it was like that.
Jay says he still sometimes can't take a full breath. He's got to stop what he's doing and be and it's been that since February 2020. Because when we think had it in February 2020, he didn't have his full strength for a while to fully move around, walk, be mobile, and do things without getting out of breath.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So he was it was much better the second time around.
Oh my God. Poor guy.
Cool. And not cool. I'm going to get my booster. I was supposed to get my booster and do early voting on Friday, and it was my civic duty Friday. And then I ended up going to see Doctor Strange instead.
Wait, are we all eligible for an additional booster? What?
Yeah, I got a test. I got a text. It was 6 months and 1 day. Yeah, 1 day after the 6 months that since I had gotten my first booster, I got a text from the NC Health Department being like, "You're eligible. Go on."
So wait, does this mean that when I move to North Carolina, I'll be able to get a booster? Because Frank actually went, and like he has like reason to get a second booster. He's not quite 50, but they didn't let him.
Weird.
Because he was like, I'm going to get it. And he's like, you should try to get it. Like, there was this whole thing about like, okay, is it a dick move to get it? If like, to like cheat this, if they like weren't really checking, if they weren't being strict about it. It was like, it's not like in the beginning when people were jumping the line and there wasn't enough vaccine. I was like, okay, because we're going to France and like his parents are elderly.
Yeah.
So I was going to like maybe see if I could somehow swing it, but they said no.
Huh.
So,
yeah,
what you're saying is, as soon as I get to North Carolina, I will
go get it.
Because it's been like for me, it's been
bring your vax
October,
card.
So November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, as of end of April.
I'm pretty sure I got mine on either November 30th or December 1st or something like that. But on May 1st, I got Colleen. Just a reminder, you're eligible for a COVID booster shot.
Wow.
Huh. So then. I would be too, because I got mine around.
You guys all boosted before me.
It was like, yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, I technically got a booster for free.
Oh, that's right. You can't get a booster.
I'm good an antibody to come down to Raleigh.
I don't think you can get a booster for 6 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I believe.
If I remember correctly, that's what our pediatrician had told us after. She found out that Jay and Zach had it. So, anyway, yeah, Shandy, just bring your Vax card so you can show them that you've had it and all that.
Yeah, so weird. You would think that California would be like, get all the shots. I did get a shot today. I got my second dose of HPV. So, moving right along.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
Is that only 2 or is there?
It's only 2 if you're a youngin', but if you get it when you're older.
If you're an old.
Yes, if you're an old. You have to get a 3rd dose 4 months later. So
okay,
yeah,
good times.
But like, I literally don't feel anything.
Good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm 8 minutes late to wish you a happy Mother's Day, Amanda, and a happy Cat Mother's Day, Shandy.
Thanks. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
Mother's Day all around.
Did anybody do anything for Mother's Day?
So we went out to our favorite wine bar in the neighborhood that like has really good food. We had like an early bird dinner.
Nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
That's cool.
We had Zachary's first Holy Communion.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you guys had the exciting weekend.
We did. So we don't really go to church and all that much anymore, but I did promise my grandma that Zachary would make his first Holy Communion. And then I promised Zachary that I would force Alex to go through the same thing and make his. Yeah, so my sister came into town on Thursday. The rest of my family came into town on Friday. We had a crazy storm on Friday where we lost electricity at our house. We had hail, big hail, crazy wind. We lost electricity for like 4 hours. Thank God we have the gas on the stove, but we couldn't flush toilets because we have the well water. So, that was fun. But, whatever. It's so funny. Every time my parents come, every time we lose electricity, I right? How many times like, oh yeah, and then my parents are here and we had every time, all 3 places we've lived.
They just bring it. They bring that good karma. They bring that good weather karma.
Oh my God. It's so funny. It's so funny. Like at that point, we're like, yeah, I guess it's going to be out for a while.
Yeah, I wonder. Daniel's parents were saying that they had a crazy hailstorm in Ohio that did really damage. Like their friend's house got my broken windows and stuff. I wonder if it was the same storm,
like the same system.
Yeah, the same system that just kind of moved its way, southeast
or northwest. On Saturday, we went to lunch at this Italian place in town. We got there at noon. We didn't leave until 3:15. I ate my weight in flatbreads and sandwiches, and it was 3 hours and 15 minutes. My sister had to take her kids home at one point because they were like dying. Mine were like running around in like the sidewalk area that's in between that and like the Harris Teeter it's next to. It was super, super fun, but oh my God,
Yeah, you like Italianed it hard.
Oh, we did. I gained 6 pounds from...
That's like some real Italianness.
I weighed myself on Saturday before we went to Bella Monica, and then I weighed myself this morning because they were here and through last night, so we still went out and ate a lot last night too. I gained 6 pounds, and I think it's just bread. It's all just bread.
Yeah, that's fine. You'll shake that off quick.
I know. I was like, all right, I think I just need to detax for a few days so we can start it all again.
In a Pure Barre class, and it's gone.
Woo! So we can start it all again this weekend because next weekend's the meetup. Yay! I know, Shandy. I know. We're gonna miss you too.
Yeah, I certainly understand. Having missed the last one, I very much understand how you're feeling.
Yeah.
All right, I was gonna say it should be fun, but then I figured that was a dick thing to say. We're gonna have a terrible time, Shandy. Don't worry.
No, you guys are gonna have a wonderful time. I will live vicariously through all the photos. Please post a lot in the group.
We will send you photos
next year. I'll just drive up. It's fine.
Exactly. It's going to be such a raider next year when like all 3 of us are there.
Yes, finally reunited,
and it will feel so good.
Yes,
like that's going to be the meetup not to miss, folks. Mark your calendars.
2023.
Just don't make any plans in May, just in case, so we can figure out what weekend. It's going to be amazing.
Yes. Woohoo! I'm looking forward to it though. For going back to communion real quick, on Sunday, the actual communion was Sunday, and I don't know if you guys are familiar, anybody listening is familiar with the way you receive communion in the Catholic Church. You put your 2 palms up, your dominant hand goes underneath, so you can pick the host up from the other hand and put it in your mouth. Zachary was so nervous. He practiced it. We practiced it right before it was time to line up. And then he goes there, and if anybody is an old school Lost listener, old school married man, like the Dale Years listener, if you remember Dale at my wedding grabbed the host out of the priest's hand because he didn't know what to do, well, that was Zachary. He got just wanted to get over it so bad, and the video is so funny. Like, I can't stop laughing whenever I watch it, and he's fine with it too. He laughs at himself too. He's not sensitive about it. He's like, he goes up, and you can see he's like this, and instead of like waiting for them to put the host in his hand, he just takes his right hand out from underneath and just grabs it and stuffs it in his mouth.
Just excited.
And then he like ran over and he was like, "Oh, that's done."
And that's funny. At the church I grew up in, they put that sucker right directly in your mouth.
They have the option to do that too, but I think for hygiene purposes, like the kids.
That sounds so much better.
Yeah. Because I know people
weird all around, even in a pre-COVID world. It's weird.
It was weird. I never liked it because I have watched people, just open their mouths, and you could see like the Eucharistic minister, whoever's administering it, is always like gross when they have to put in somebody's mouth. Yeah, like nobody wants to do that. I'm sorry. You could put your own Jesus in your mouth. Thank you very much.
Yep. That's the nice thing about the Protestants. It's like we got nice little bits of bread that they brought to you. You didn't even have to get up.
It was
the
funny.
Ushers would bring them on trays, and then we'd have these little platters, like the little cups of grape juice, and you'd pass it down the row.
I like that.
Take one, pass it down like it's Thanksgiving. Take one, pass it down.
I like
and
that
idea.
Seated. I like that idea.
Bread. It was like, when I was like a kid, that it was like, little old ladies in the church would bake the bread. So it was
no,
fresh.
Oh, like real bread. It wasn't unleavened bread.
No, it was homemade grandma bread.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
The church I went to took that shit real serious, like real literally. So it had to be unleavened bread and it had to be wine. It was probably real shit wine with like a very small alcohol concentration, but still.
Yeah.
So those Congregationalists, just grape juice and
now we did the real cheap
good old white bread.
They think they did like the real cheap kind of box wine kind of thing too at my church. But he had his practice the day before where they gave them the unconsecrated host, meaning it's just wafer. You're not putting Jesus's body in your mouth. And
So it's just a little practice round?
yeah, just a little practice, Pretend it's Jesus in your mouth. But he's always in your heart. And, sorry. I could have gone for the cannibalism jokes, but after Yellow Jackets, I decided to just go a different way.
Yeah,
I'm going to zag instead of zig. And he comes back and, he puts it, he goes, it's just a practice, blah, 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 does it just fine. And then like a minute later, he's tugging on me and I'm like, the lady's talking. And he's like, and I was like, what? He's like, and I was like, you chew it.
Swallow it, man.
Swallow!
Because I guess he had asked my mom, what is it, like, what you do? And she goes, oh, it just dissolves on your tongue. And he was like waiting for it to dissolve, and it wasn't going to dissolve. So he was just like sitting there with like a peanut butter mouth of communion wafer.
Wafer.
Peanut butter mouth of Jesus.
A peanut butter mouth of Jesus.
Oh my goodness, Catholicism, you guys.
I know, it's so bad. We had to pray for all the pray that the mothers would make the right choice and not abort their babies. That was one of the things.
Whoa.
But at least they weren't like murder their babies. It was tastefully done for us for what it could have been.
So it was a fairly liberal
anti-choice.
Catholic church, is what you're saying.
It was just like, and then we pray that because they do like the list of prayers, like we pray for that the war in Ukraine would end, for a smooth resolution in the Ukraine. We pray for our soldiers and troops abroad. We pray for like people who are struggling. We pray for the elderly. We pray for the sick. Blah blah blah. And like they'll add like relevant things in. And one of them was like, and we pray for all the mothers considering abortion that they should make the choice of life, which is again fair for what it could have been. I was like, all right, this feels like a very safe.
Pretty soon they'll be forced to make the choice of life.
Right. They won't have a choice to make.
They were like, guys, just keep it together for a few more pray for us's, and just got a couple more weeks of it. And then we can move it over into the "We give you thanks, Lord" column.
Oh God!
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Kind of.
Oh,
Am I though?
Yeah.
All right. Before we move on, I had a thought. Okay, so June 1st, we're going to talk about 10 Things I Hate About You, Clueless, and Can't Hardly Wait. And Matt very kindly in the Facebook group wrote down where you can find said movies, which of course I'm not looking at right now, but it was...
I hadn't seen that. Thanks, Matt. That's
super helpful.
I put it in that line.
You did? Okay, cool. I have the DVD, and Matt actually has the 10-year anniversary one, which is probably more better than mine. Of Can't Hardly Wait. So if anybody's interested, we can totally watch that at some point when there's downtime this weekend.
Yes, please.
Yes.
And Can't Hardly Wait is on Stars, which I don't have. So now I'm doubly disappointed I can't come. 10 Things I Hate About You is on Doobie, whatever the fuck that is.
But it's also...
And Disney Plus.
And Disney Plus, yes.
You've got to be able to, like, rent it. Yeah? Like, couldn't you rent that on, like, Amazon? Can't Hardly Wait.
You've got to be able to rent it
on
somewhere.
YouTube. You can rent anything on YouTube. So
I've seen it, yeah. It's
Oh,
like,
it's-
do you want to pay the $3.99 or whatever it is? Yeah.
exactly. And then Clueless is on HBO.
It's on... Can't Hardly Wait is also on Amazon Prime. You can watch it on Stars or Amazon
cool.
Prime.
Okay.
Oh, great.
There
Or
we go.
Colleen's house.
Or my house, if there's time. I'm very excited to rewatch that movie. I really did enjoy it.
I love that movie.
Yeah. So 10 Things, Clueless, Can't Hardly Wait. Zachary is obsessed with the Titanic, and he wanted me to read him this book about it tonight, and I was wondering, maybe somewhere on the list we could add the movie Titanic. Just the movie, just the one movie, not 100 movies. Because I'm kind of also interested. I know it doesn't hold up, but I really want the excuse to watch it.
Oh, but it does.
Does it?
It kind of does.
I would imagine it probably would.
Okay, so Frank and I watched it it was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
It was like, yeah, maybe a couple months. I don't know. Time is confusing now, but not too long ago. We were just like, literally, like, we had finished watching whatever it was we were going to watch, and we were going to go to bed, but we were just like still downstairs for a couple more minutes, like sort of channel surfing. And we happened upon it. And we straight up, like, I think we were both sort of there to like just watch the beginning And then we finished the whole fucking movie and went to bed super late.
So you were like 4 hours later.
Yes.
It was on 2 VHSs. It was a long movie.
Wow. It is a very
Also
long
on 2
movie.
VHSs, Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Long movies are on 2 VHSs.
But yeah, so I'd be down.
Yeah. Speaking of Titanic, it's funny you bring it up. You might not remember, but once upon a time, our good friend Joanne suggested this podcast called Our Fake History.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
They recently had a 3-part about the Titanic, and like I had subscribed to it when Joanne had recommended it, and I'd like listened to a few episodes, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And then like the pandemic hit, and like, you know,
Yeah.
I lost my commute to work, which is when I listen to podcasts. So like a lot of things just sort of fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, like I was still subscribed, so it would like pop up in my feed every now and again, and I saw like the title was Titanic and part 3, and I was like, oh, that could actually be very interesting. So I went back to find part 1, and I like binged through all 3 of them in the span of a couple of days. And like they're not long. I think each one is like an hour or less, but just really well researched, kid friendly. Like it might be a little like over Zach's head, and like because it just goes really in depth, but like it's family friendly in terms of like content. You know, like there's no bad words or like anything salacious, but it was really, really interesting.
Okay.
I'm interested to listen to this, but I'm just saying this is a lot of Titanic talk leading up to a Raleigh weekend. Another Raleigh weekend that I'm not going to attend. If there is another like Titanic conspiracy theories 2.0 when I'm not there
it wasn't
yet again, I am going to be a little more than disappointed.
It was the founding of the Federal Reserve. Thank you very much.
But I like stories of Titanic conspiracy 1.0 are still give me a little FOMO. So just saying, this is a lot of Titanic content when we're really just a couple of days away from Raleigh.
So maybe don't listen to the podcast till like afterward.
Or you should listen to it while we're all here, so you can feel like you're not missing anything.
Okay. No, that's actually that's not a bad idea. And then I'll send some messages like to the group.
That's true.
And pretend that I'm participating. Okay.
I believe part 2 is the one where they go and they debunk all of the
shit.
Theories.
Oh shit.
Oh, forget it. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in debunking anything. I'm just kidding.
It was very interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed the listen. It was very good.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you for the recommendation. I just downloaded the 3 episodes, or they're in the process of downloading right now. So thank you.
Nice.
Have you guys...
the whole time it made me think of you. I was like, Colleen would love this. Or maybe she wouldn't, because debunks all of the fun parts.
Yeah, I don't know if I would like it. I would like it, though. I'm mature now. I'm not fun anymore. Did you guys hear about that flight that had to like abort?
Yeah,
you heard about it.
That had to like go back because one of the pilots hadn't finished like all of the training. He was like a fully fledged pilot, but it was missing some sort of airline specific something or another. So like the headline made it sound like he hadn't finished his training, but he kind of had. But
I'm sorry, what?
That's not what I was talking about.
Oh,
you go first.
Oh, well, that's what I thought you were talking about. I just saw that headline sometime over the weekend. I don't know. Again, what is time?
Okay, so according to local reports, there was a flight that was flying from Israel to Turkey, and the pilot decided to turn back to the terminal because there was a panic on board. So as so as like the planes start moving, like they shut the gate, and you've got that backing away from the tarmac and all that. Passengers with iPhones started receiving requests for a photo, like an airdrop to be approved. And some people, did not, declined. But the people that approved it looked at the pictures, and they were all pictures of like crashed flights. Isn't that
what?
Yeah. So somebody
got, like, shivers over
somebody airdropped pictures of plane crashes. And no one knows who sent the original thing. Isn't that crazy?
That's super fucked up.
That's super cruel.
That is so cruel. and fucked up and creepy and
Probably
all
just
the
some
things.
like asshole teen thinking they were doing something funny and just like
Yeah.
not realizing just like how serious it is.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. So they.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
that
like,
is
now
not what
like
I
want to
heard.
open the office door. I like don't want to be in here by myself now. Like, my apartment's gonna crash.
I don't know. Is there anyone in your window?
So they deny it.
No, stop. Now I have to go close
Sorry,
the
sorry,
curtain.
sorry,
I'm
sorry,
terrified.
sorry.
They
No, I-
No
treated
trees.
it.
There's no trees.
They treated it as a security incident and checked everybody's, luggage
Yeah.
and whatnot. Nothing was found. 166 passengers ended up receiving the images, and it was,
Wow.
plane.
This was a big
crashes.
flight.
I won't tell you what the crash. They list what the pictures were. I won't tell you guys, scaredy cats. But they also they said this is a spokesman for the airline said it's not a cyber attack. The source of the images had to have been like somebody from the plane trying to fuck with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's shitty.
That's awful.
isn't that awful? I think I would have been probably one of those people that might have freaked out.
Yeah.
I mean, you just saw my reaction, just like being like both feet on the ground, completely unattached to the story. So I could not.
However, I'm gonna really pay attention to the "Am I the Asshole" Reddit over the next few weeks because the person that did that, you are the asshole.
Yes. I airdropped a bunch of pictures. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
What are the odds that two
Too
crazy
strange.
plane things? Yeah. I guess the odds are.
I bet that they're higher than you think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else have anything? Yes. No.
No.
No stories.
With the baby for the past 2 weeks.
Ugh, I know. I'm so sorry. I was telling Amanda before you came on, Shandy, that this afternoon or this evening, you told the kids to go downstairs and play for a little while before it was time to take a shower. And I hear, and Zachary's like, because Jen and I we're pooped. Like, we had a long weekend and we're just tired. And, Zach's like, Daddy, come play with me. And oh, that's right. I forgot something else too. But he was like, "Daddy, come play with me." And Jay was like, "No, go downstairs and play yourself." And Zach's kind of whining, and Alex is like, "Zachary, come here, come here, come here." Like he's this little consigliere or whatever. What's the term, Amanda? The
Consigliere.
Consigliere. Yes, he's like, "Come here." No, in my bedroom. So he takes him from the couch. He's like, "Come in my bedroom where Mommy and Daddy can't hear you." And I'm like, okay, so we're listening. We're trying to hear what they're saying. And, he's like, I hear Alex talking. And he's like, no, Zachary, I'm going to need to see better tears. Trust me, it'll work. It'll work. No, do your lip. No. So little brother was giving big brother instructions on how to ask for what he wanted and manipulate our emotions to...
Unbelievable.
Oh, damn. This kid.
No, Zachy,
When
I'm going to
he-
need to see better tears. And I'm like, you're 4 and he's 8. Stop it.
I'm very excited to see the high school years.
Oh my God. Well, Max has been doing this thing lately. And we kind of thought it was fake, but now we're certain. He's learned to cry on command with the tears, but he'll just do this thing where he's like, and then, and the tears will stream and the snot will come and you're like, holy shit, is he really hurt? Is there really something? Like, I can't tell. The tears are they're just so real. So now I'm kind of thinking, oh, maybe it hasn't always been.
He needs to get into theater.
Yep.
Seriously. No, he does not.
Alex and Eden are cut from the same cloth.
We do not need to develop that skill further.
Oh, yeah.
Channel it. Just channel it. Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, Amanda, if they are, good luck to you.
Yeah, we have definitely. I'm like getting glimpses as to like what the terrible twos are going to be. I'm like, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be real bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like little, like she gets really fixated on things. Like, well, I mean, she's a baby, so babies get fixated on things, but like weird stuff. Like I tried, like her hair is at this weird length where like it's not long enough for like a full on little ponytail on the top of her head, but it's like in her way. So I was like, I'm going to try a little headband, see if that works. Didn't work. What it did do was she was like, I'm just going to carry this headband around for the next 5 hours.
Well,
And you'd even try and take it away. And it would like 0 to 60. Yeah. Like just the scream.
It's mine! How dare you!
Just
like
so
that.
loud and so like smiles to like scream.
She meant business.
She meant business.
She was not fucking around.
Did I clip your finger? Like, does something hurt? Why are we screaming so loud?
She's like, Mom, fuck around with this headband and find out. I dare you.
Yeah. So it's going to be real bad. It's going to be real bad.
Oh, no. Speaking of fucking around and find out, has anybody paid attention to the Steve Schmidt fucking reading Meghan McCain as trash and telling all these secrets about John McCain and Sarah Palin and just the chaos he unleashed? It was
I don't even
beautiful.
think I know who that is.
Yeah,
He's one of the Lincoln Project people. He's one of the Lincoln Project people. He went on like a 72-hour spree. Just was like, she is the worst human being I've ever met. She's harassed me for 14 years and I am fucking done with it. Told the story, said he was the one that killed. Just all this stuff. Basically, like that the Russians infiltrated the McCain campaign and named names of people and was like, so if you think that it started with Trump, guess again, it started 15 years ago with McCain's and maybe even earlier.
Wow.
Talked about how, and he's like, and I'm telling all this because I'm fucking sick of it because Meghan McCain did that thing that, Republicans do where they accuse everyone of being a pedophile. And that was like the straw that broke the camel's back because apparently she's been like leaking shit about him to the press because they've hated each other since he kicked her off the McCain campaign. Remember she got kicked off the campaign and that was like, I vaguely remember like reading about this when it happened but not really paying too much attention. Yeah. She got kicked off and he was like, it's because her behavior was so atrocious that her parents were even embarrassed by her. Like she would scream for hours and like just like brutalize everybody. And I was the first person first adult to ever tell her no. And she was keeping people waiting for a campaign event where they needed to get on a plane and fly. So he fucking left the plane, had the plane take off without her. Anyway, tells the story.
Planes leave at a specific time.
I don't know if anybody remembers,
hold it for you.
Back in like 2008 or whatever, 7-8, there was a rumor that John McCain had an affair for like a decade or longer, really long time with this woman. And the New York Times printed the story and, named the woman and blah, blah, blah. And Steve Schmidt was like, and guess what? He's like, I'm the one that was responsible for getting that killed. And they ended up getting sued and having to like retract it and blah, blah, blah. The New York Times and like, the fake New York Times and their hit pieces on Republicans. He's like, I've apologized to the reporters privately, but I'm going to make it known now. I killed that story. It was all true. And he kept going back at the end of every thread. And he took out the trash. Like he just dumped it all out and like told the behind the scenes story about it and the fallout of the campaign from it. And he was like, and every time he would like end a thread, be like, and remember, Megan, if you hadn't called me a pedophile, I wouldn't have snapped and then be sharing all this stuff. Oh my God. It's wild. Anyway, check that out. That was a super fun catch up yesterday.
Good times.
It was crazy. I mean, it's nobody's out here pretending that the Lincoln Project people are classy or noble or anything but out for themselves. But somebody on Twitter was like, they were like, Meghan McCain, do you know who my father is? Steve Smith, do you know who your father was? Unfurls 886-page manifesto about John McCain. But somebody else on Twitter was like, man, I hope that this is the kind of free speech that Elon Musk was talking about. But the other thing, I know I'm talking way too much. I got to move on. I hate when I get like this because then I end up trying to like nitpick and edit. But
Keep it all in.
Keep it going.
Zachary and Jay both finished reading Charlotte's Web for the first time on Thursday.
What?
So Jay had seen the movie because you've all seen the animated movie, right? We've all seen with Vincent Price as Templeton the Rat.
A million years ago.
A million years ago. So, but he didn't remember if he had ever read the book. So he read the book to Zach, and I knew that they were at the chapter where Charlotte dies.
No.
It's like I go in, and spoiler alert, but I'm sure if you don't know, I mean, it's been like 60 years at this point, so I feel like spoilers don't apply here.
Fair enough.
And like, oh, poor Jay. The way that the paragraph reads is, Charlotte uses her last bit of energy to wave goodbye, and then she never moved again. And then because she's at the fair, as they're packing up everything, Charlotte dies. Nobody knew that out of all the events that happened that weekend, a little spider had been the primary reason for all of it. No one was with her when she died, and that's kind of like how it ends. And Jay got to the part where like she lifts her arm for the last time and just bursts into tears.
Oh my no.
And I was like, do you need me to read the last paragraph? And he's like, it was so sad. My heart broke, and Zachary didn't get it at first. And he's like, keep going. Jay's like, maybe we can finish this tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, I was like, we can finish it tomorrow. And Zach's like, no, why won't we just finish the chapter now? And then he's like, no one was with her when she died.
Oh no. Oh no.
My heart. I was like, this is so sweet. And then they ended up just finishing the book. But then, of course, Alex wanted to then read it the next day. So now Jay's rereading it to Alex.
Oh, man.
He's like, you wimps.
Probably. He's going to like, why
Or
didn't
he's
someone
just going to one-up them.
Yeah, he's like, why didn't someone just...
tears over literature.
Yeah, right? He's going to be like, why didn't someone just step on her and put her out of her misery? That's going to be Alex, I swear to God. So, then, Jay is, visibly upset after. Zachary can't sleep. Alex, I had kind of run out of his room because I knew that they were getting close to the end. Alex is awake, so then the three of them end up watching that fucking movie until 10:30 that night. And I was like,
oh, gosh.
I was like, it is still a school night. You guys need to go to sleep. But they couldn't find the animated one, so they watched the live action one with Oprah and Julia Roberts. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
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 It's a live action.
Julia Roberts is not a good Charlotte.
That was weird.
Like within the past decade or so, right?
Yes.
It was definitely like, well, we were adults, so we wouldn't have.
Yeah, we wouldn't have
adults
watched it.
pre-children, so we wouldn't have been aware.
It's got to be more than a. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do some feedback. We'll do an "Am I the Asshole?" and we'll have a party. All right. Hello, we're back. Welcome. You guys just missed a wonderful conversation that we weren't recording, which is a shame because it was great. It was great. It was great. It involved poop and blowjobs and Gillian Anderson and Nancy Reagan, and I'll let you guys just go from there. All right.
You fill in the rest yourselves.
Yeah, because there's no way that we can.
No, it was a moment in time. It's gone.
Yes. All right. We got feedback and am I the asshole? And we're gonna try to, make it worth your next 20 or so minutes. So here we go. Dennis says, I think we watched one episode. I'm sorry. Starting with the Facebook feedback, the feedback, if you will, regarding Yellow Jackets. Dennis said, I think we watched one episode, then dropped it. It'll be interesting listening to you guys review it, spoilers and all. Too many good shows to keep up with these days. I agree, Dennis.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's real.
That is real. But you should go back to it because it's super great. Loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listened last week yet, but did. Hashtag Mattsplaining. Lauren Ambrose, who we last week, remember, thought would be a great older Van. but we thought maybe she was too young. So apparently she is the perfect age to play an older survivor of the plane crash. She was born in 1978, so she could have been a senior in high school in 1996, which, as we know, is when the plane crash year takes place. So, cool. Good job, Amanda.
I thought she was closer in age to us. I didn't realize she was, a little bit older.
The older we get, 78 is practically 84.
Yeah. Practically.
Practically. Until people like start hitting their like 80s and 90s, and then that's when it makes a difference again. You're like, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm only 76, thank you very much. I'm not 82 like she is.
You bite your tongue.
Next bit feedback also comes from Matt. His crackpot Yellow Jackets theory is there will be no cannibalism. I don't remember any of them explicitly saying that they did, and the fixer could just be going at the urban myths that came from the story. The way they've danced around it makes me believe there is something more to it. The prologue certainly leans towards them killing that girl and eating her, but there's reasonable doubt that it's a mislead. Plus, although TV may take liberties a la lack of infection, cannibalism is bad for your health. Then again, the Donner Party and the Andes flight disaster were inspirations.
Is cannibalism really bad for your health? She says, feeling very strangely about saying that.
Like, bummer. I was about to start an MLM with cannibalism.
No, I just never heard that. I mean,
I don't know. Google it.
Like,
let us know.
Meat is meat not meat.
Well,
it's like, imagine if you don't cook it, then it's bad for you.
Right.
Well, you'd have to
Does your
make
body
sure.
really know that it's human meat? You know what I mean?
Well,
As
don't
opposed
forget,
to,
just like you
bear
don't want to
meat.
eat an animal that's like diseased or something. You don't know where human's
Sure,
been.
But I'm assuming that.
I don't know. What if there's
assuming the
something in
human
like
is
the
healthy.
biological like makeup that it's like the meat is too similar to your like your own like biological composition because it is of the same species as you? I don't know.
Hey,
I mean, I
Siri.
don't really eat any of this stuff, so like, who am I to say?
Amanda's like, I am
Is
still
cannibalism
vegan,
bad for your health?
vegetarian.
Okay. I found this on the web for is cannibalism bad for your health? Check it out.
I will check.
Try it yourself and find out.
It also includes these recipes from Epicurious.
That would be Alexa. Would you like me to find some cannibalism recipes?
No, thank you. I'm good.
It says cannibalism occurs in many species and has been a part of human culture for thousands of years.
Gross.
In some cultures, cannibalism involved eating parts of one's enemies to take on their strength.
Yes, I've heard that.
Elsewhere, the consumption of human flesh had a more ritual significance, a la potentially Yellow Jackets. In some cultures, once a person has died, their loved ones consume parts of their body so that they quite literally become a part of them. To Western minds, this might seem disturbing.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Seriously, just give me the facts, the health implications. Although it may seem wrong, the good news is that consuming cooked human flesh is no more dangerous than eating the cooked flesh of other animals. There you go. This is in medical news today. So,
Oh dear.
anyway, well, I'm glad that we got to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
So back to Matt's feedback.
Sorry, I just had to explain to Matt the cannibalism thing. I was genuinely curious.
Right.
Shansplaining.
Yes.
Right. Not trying to debunk anything. Just,
Exshandying.
Just curious. Yeah.
just, looking for a little extra info.
Yeah.
A little homework.
Guys, that might be a trivia question one day. And you're going to be
It
super
certainly
glad.
Right.
Super glad that Shandy read it to you. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I don't know where we go from there. Yes. Okay. Yes, I do. So do you think that it's a mislead? I don't think it's a mislead. Because what other...
It hadn't... Yeah.
Go ahead.
It had not occurred to me that it could be a mislead, so I thank Matt for bringing that up because I literally hadn't even considered that. I mean, we certainly do see them kill her, slit her throat. So after that, it's like, oh, do they actually eat her or not? I don't know. They've already murdered her, so that's pretty bad already.
And it's winter, and that just sort of feels like a waste. If you're starving in the wilderness in the middle of the winter and you go to the effort of gruesomely killing one of your friends.
Like, if you're gonna kill your teammate, you might as well eat her. That's what she died for. Duh.
Yeah, because then otherwise, like, why would they kill her? Like, for the
Exactly.
sport? You know, and then that also, like, creates this whole other slew of problems. And it also then makes these characters much less
Redeemable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
So I don't know. Like, I feel like they've leaned too hard into the cannibalism thing to have it be.
Yeah, because what's funny is, like, if you go back to, like, the Donner Party, which is fairly close to where I live, side note. I mean, as far as I know, they only ate people who, like, had already perished. They weren't, like, killing people. It was like, oh, okay, that dude died, so because I'm desperate. Ooh. You know?
I mean, either way, it's like all sorts of unpleasant.
yeah.
But I feel like that's like on a different level, though, of, like, killing your fellow human to then consume them.
Well, there's a level of, like, rationale to it.
Yeah, I mean, they're already dead, and, like, you're gonna die if you don't have anything to eat.
Right.
So I actually had considered that it was a misdirect at some point, just because my mind from years of Lost has been just trained, and X-Files and whatnot has been trained to, like, think of, like, all of the whatever. But I came to the conclusion is I don't think it's a misdirect, because what else are they so, like, desperate to hide? Like, what else could have happened out there that they're all have a pact to never talk about their time in the wilderness again?
I don't know.
Well,
like,
the killing.
Yeah, the killing, the leaning into this whole, like, mystical aspect that we haven't quite explored. I feel like there's a whole host of things, but yes, to your point, you know, cannibalism would probably sit pretty close to the top, if not like at the top of the list of things
Highly
you don't talk
frowned
about.
upon in modern society.
Right.
Although I have to say, like, it's still, and what's suggested is that they did both. But to me, like, resorting to cannibalism of somebody who's already died of the elements or whatever in order to keep yourself alive is less, like, bad and, like,
It's less barbaric than
then and also less sort of like something that you could get sent to jail for than, like, murdering someone.
Right. Like this elaborate.
But I
trap.
think that Matt's alluding to the fact that maybe, like, what we see, we don't see. Like, maybe even that's a misdirect. But I would have to disagree.
That, like, the forest put that booby trap out there, and then they
You
were
said
rescuing her from.
But then it's also then, like,
You're welcome.
then it's also like, why do you have that big elaborate, like, opening sequence just to be, like, eye grabbing?
Right. Exactly. I agree.
You know, then it feels a little more grabby and a less integrated into the larger story. And I don't know if I necessarily like that look on this series, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Moving on.
no doubt.
Oh, we never finished. 10 Things I Hate About You is on Disney Plus. Can't Hardly Wait stars, and I believe Amazon Prime from what I Googled, but maybe Matt has more updated information. And then Clueless is on HBO Max. Very excited.
Yep.
Very excited for June 1st. It's a Wednesday, everybody. Just saying. It's a Wednesday. So I'll wear pink while we talk about it. That's what I was getting at. You know, we should have picked and we can still do this, like, what we think is, like, the coming of age movie for each of those decades. Because I would definitely put, like, Mean Girls up there as well. Because we get, like, Breakfast Club for the 80s, Clueless for the 90s.
Yeah. Slash Now and Then.
Slash, Now and Then, because we're doing Clueless here. Now and Then, so that's 90s for, like, 20 to 2010. I don't know. We could figure it out. 2010 plus. Oh, Mean Girls. Mean Girls was like 2005, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we could really test ourselves with 2010 plus because we're all olds since then. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But thanks, Matt, for putting those together. That was super helpful. Greg says, I doubt the review have seen it yet, but I'd be very interested in hearing your thoughts on the new Doctor Strange, particularly on the character of Wanda and how they portray mothers and women in general. I've seen a lot of different takes on it, but I value your insight. So, I don't want to be too spoilery. I did see the movie. But there is... do you guys mind if I vaguely spoil you guys?
Yeah, I'll never see it.
Yeah.
I
And by the
figured.
time I get to it, it'll be a while. So I'll probably forget what you
So, Amanda, you watched WandaVision, right?
I did.
Yes. We talked about
Very
it.
much enjoyed it.
Loved it. So, at the end of WandaVision, Wanda has to come to terms with her grief. No, spoilers are starting now. Let's see. Give me 2 minutes from here, from the point that we have now. I'm going to set a timer for myself. Give me 2 minutes. You can skip ahead if you haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to pull up the timer, stopwatch rather, and start it now. Okay, so at the end of WandaVision, Wanda has to come to terms with her grief, which includes the fact that everything that she is living in is a world that she has made up. Vision is dead. Her children did not exist. Blah, 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 blah. We flash forward in Doctor Strange time, and Wanda has this, like, dark book, which brings out the worst tendencies in people, and Wanda is basically trying to, like, destroy timelines and multiverses and kill people. Also, that the theory is every time you have a dream, it's not a dream, it's actually another version of you in the infinite universes, multiverses out there living what's happening to them. And Wanda knows that in a lot of other multiverses out there, her children exist. Wanda is a mom and her kids exist. So she just wants to, figure out a way, even though it means it will, like, destroy other universes. She wants to figure out the way that she can take the place of, like, she wants to, like, remember the Sweet Valley Twin books where we had evil Jessica and it was, like, the girl that looked like them and she wanted to kill Jessica so that way she could take her place and be, like, the evil twin? Okay, I read all those books. Somebody out there, Mandy girl, I know you feel me, Jamie Joe, someone out there knows what I'm talking about. So she just basically wants to, like, take the place of another Wanda so she can easily just go to a universe where she lives with her kids. And the whole thing there is that I'm not a monster, I'm a mother, and I want to get back to my kids, and a mom will do anything for her kids. Which, on surface level, you sympathize with, right? You sympathize with, and you're like, oh yeah, a mom will do anything for her kids, until you realize, oh wait, those aren't her kids. That's another woman's kids. And you're actually a monster because you want to take those kids from somebody else. We're at 2 minutes. I have explained the spoilery part. I am now in the part where I'm talking about the whole mother of it all. So you can continue to skip ahead of another minute or so. But I'm going to not really be spoilery from here on out. So, Greg, to answer your question, I think that it is, I don't love it, because while I understand the whole theory behind it, and yes, moms and kids, strong bond, protection, blah, 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 I also happen to think it's a cheap plot device and pretty shitty to assume that every woman who has lost their children in some form is just going to go automatically and essentially kidnap somebody else's kids. And that's fucking bullshit. And while I appreciate the love she had for her fake kids, I did not love that in the end it was blamed on her being a crazy hysterical woman who, was imagining these kids. It's like the stories you hear about, like, women kidnapping babies because they can't have one of their own. And, we think that's wrong in real life when it happens. We pity them. I pity Wanda. I sympathize with her and, everything she lost at the end of WandaVision. But, stupid, dumb, thumbs down.
Okay. Also makes me want to just see the movie a little less. That I'm a little like, oh, I don't
the
think I'm
movie's
here
still
for that
good.
storyline. I don't want them to do that to my Wanda.
I know, I don't think you would like what they did to Wanda, but she does get redemption at the end. I won't spoil it, but it's a comic book, so movie. It's supposed to be whatever.
Right.
So yeah, Greg didn't love it at all. Don't know why we always have to make women be the irrational ones.
Yeah.
I get it in this case there was no man because Vision was dead and therefore can't, but like, I don't know.
But at the end of WandaVision, there was like that second, like,
Yeah, she accepts it.
but no, but they like made that like 3D animated Vision. They like 3D
Oh, that they
printed
like
him.
printed him, yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
he just flew off.
He's not
So,
in
like,
the
he's
movie.
still out there.
Yeah, he's out there, but he's not in the movie.
Okay.
Maybe Paul Bettany was busy.
Yeah.
Maybe he was busy doing drugs with Johnny Depp because he came out in the trial where they like did drugs together or something. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention,
That's a
but
bummer.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that was my thoughts, Greg. Thumbs down. If anybody else out there has seen it and has an opinion different than mine, let me know. Thebroadcasters3@gmail.com. On that note, though, it is time to get into the That's What She Said.
I pull it even further.
Oh, I guess it went away.
They're very long.
You hadn't finished at that point.
She plays both sides.
What a nice thing to do while you're out in the woods.
She was giving that to Coach Ben.
It makes me twitch when they're over a certain length, and I can't control that.
What in the actual fuck were we talking about?
Nancy Reagan. Just it all comes back to Nancy.
Oh, man.
We were talking about episode lengths, by the way. Where
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
On that note, I believe we have an email from Andy to wrap up the feedback portion of the show, and then we'll have a "Am I the Asshole?" and call it a day.
All right. Andy writes in from last week. This totally fun, not infuriating week in Andy's virginity. Hey, broads. Well, it certainly feels like we all got screwed today. Even though we knew this was coming, it doesn't make it any less awful. So again, this was last week when we all got screwed. And I know it's going to get to be even worse for people less privileged than me. The fight isn't over regardless of how this plays out, but I don't know if I'm going to be the one to offer up words of hope. Maybe some Republicans will find this clashing with their deep-rooted desire to be unhappy at all times and not being able to rattle this saber to work up their supporters anymore. I don't know. No, I don't. I mean, they can still try to actively just like outlaw it countrywide. I don't know. Time to look into getting the right people elected and that the right organizations that can fight this get funded. After that bummer of an intro, at least NNG is working out really well. He's so far been on time, which every day for 7 days straight, which, wow, is such a telling sign of how low the bar was. We're getting him used to the basics and slowly integrating more things, but I think he may be a quicker learner than what we've planned out for him. We'll see. So I guess keep your heads up, keep chipping in however you can, and maybe we can have some better updates in the future. Hashtag I'm with hers, Andy. And there is a part deux, since we ran out of time last week. Andy writes in this quick week in Andy's virginity. Hey, broads, real quick update since not much has been happening lately. NNG is still doing well. It's nice to have someone working with me who getting to do things isn't comparable to pulling teeth. Also wanted to wish a happy belated Mother's Day to Colleen and Amanda. I'm sure you probably went over the highlights earlier, but just wanted to get that feedback in for the post-Mother's Day show. Hashtag I'm with hers, Andy.
Thank you.
It's very sweet. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear that NNG is doing well.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds
So, when the bar's on the floor, it's not...
Yeah. There's nowhere to go but up, I guess.
Yep.
Yes. Sorry. Well, thank you, Andy. We appreciate it. I hope that you had a nice weekend as well.
Indeed.
All right. It is the time that we have all been waiting for. I have two quick ones. Okay, the first one just makes me laugh. There's no asshole here, but spoiler.
Okay.
All right. It is time for I'm the Asshole. Thank you to everybody that had feedback, though. We appreciate it. Thebroadcasters3@gmail.com. 331-276-2373 is our phone number. All right. Okay. Okay. Am I the asshole for suggesting my 7-year-old name his new stuffed tiger Tig Bitty? Tig Bitties.
Oh, dear.
And this is on the best of. My son won a stuffed tiger at the fair last night and said he had named him Tig. Fun. He asked me what its last name should be. I couldn't help myself and I just instantly replied, Bitties. Sorry. I can't stop laughing at this one. I turned to my wife to share a smirk, but she was pissed and quickly suggested a few different last names. My son insisted that he liked Biddies, so now his tiger is Tig Biddies. My wife thinks it was completely inappropriate. I think it was a silly joke that went over his head and will have no negative ramifications. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole. I think that's so funny.
Best of intentions.
Yeah. You know why? Because I would have suggested Biddies. Remember when Mariah Carey had that song with Old Dirty Bastard doing the remake? And it was like, two old tit-o bitties for your mouth. No.
No.
I think that was in the fantasy remix. I really loved Mariah Carey as a kid. Yeah, I figured we would all be in pretty quick agreement on that one. I will let you guys pick the next one. So the first one is in the spirit of Meghan McCain, and it's, am I the asshole for telling the cashier that it wasn't the girl's credit card? Or there's one that's more in line with the broadcast, which is, am I the asshole for sleeping naked on top of the covers to teach my flatmate's girlfriend a lesson?
I'm just intrigued.
With?
The second one.
The second one? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
So I, guy 21, live with my childhood best friend, 22, also a guy. I've done so for 2 years now. Up until last week, things were perfect between us. However, he recently got a girlfriend, 23, lady, and she honestly seems absolutely great, except for one thing. She seemingly has a complete aversion to knocking. She and I have quite a lot in common, and I actually like spending time with her. However, it bugs the hell out of me when she just barges into my room without knocking first. Now, she's never walked in on me doing anything untoward. I'm just usually chilling on my bed or studying at my desk. However, on at least 7 separate occasions now, she's done it first thing in the morning to ask if I want coffee. I sleep naked. Every time prior to the last one, I've been under the covers and she hasn't seen anything. I always point out that she could have, and she just giggles and says, but I didn't. When she stayed over last week, in order to make my point, I intentionally slept on top of the covers. Sure enough, she barges in at 7 a.m., begins to ask if I want coffee, and sees my you-know-what. She immediately backed out of the room and didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My mate later pulled me aside and said I was bang out of order, accused me of deliberately exposing myself, and pointed out that I threatened to do it before. I literally just said, okay, but what if I had no covers and you saw everything beforehand? They're now framing this to others that I'm some kind of sick creep who intentionally got naked and lay in wait of her because that's how I get my rocks off. I'm kind of seeing how it came off that way. Am I the asshole for doing this?
No.
No. I mean, I get it, but also, girl, knock.
Yeah. Like he even said, like, I'm gonna do this if you don't learn to knock. Gave her a warning, and yeah.
But here's my thing. Like, he can do whatever he wants in his room. It's his room, and she absolutely should knock, and she should know that, and she shouldn't have to be told that. My other thing is, did he actually say, "Hey, please knock"? Before coming into my room? Because I kind of feel like it also could be a case of like, just have a fucking conversation. Like, he's not the asshole, but like, just tell people what you like. Have a fucking conversation.
Yeah.
Versus like having to like come up with this whole scheme of like, okay, I'm gonna like sleep naked on top of the covers to like teach her a lesson. Not just like tell her, do not come into my room without knocking first. And then if she continues, like, then have
I'm wondering if...
Yeah, good point.
My assumption was that he had to have said, like, knock because I sleep naked and you could see everything, and just didn't have the full-on conversation with, like, no, anytime you come in the room, you have to knock. Yeah. And he probably posted it like a way that was just like, "Hey, dude, I'm naked under here," like, and she was just like, "Ha, but you're always under the covers," and it wasn't a full on mature conversation about it.
Because he also said he was a 21-year-old boy. So it's, like being,
Right.
being direct and having a mature conversation, like,
Right.
isn't for everyone at that age, male or female. Like,
Yeah.
confrontation can be hard when we are younger. So, maybe what he thought was a direct conversation was
Yeah.
maybe like not
I mean, it's a huge
registered on the other
fucking,
side.
it's a huge hint. And again, she shouldn't even have to be told. But like,
Right.
it also is different than just like straight up saying it. So that's all I'm saying. No, he's not an asshole, but like, just like tell her. Set your boundary, tell her, like be clear.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah. Now, if he was the actual boyfriend and they all lived together or she was visiting, but for some reason, I don't know, like maybe there'd be a different case to be had, but like he's just a friend and like I wouldn't barge in on a friend's room without.
No.
Like
That's weird.
Jay I would barge in on, but like I wouldn't barge in on like a friend. Or he'd be like,
course.
you know,
Totally different.
knock,
I
knock,
don't think I
knock.
would barge in on anyone. Like, it just, I don't know.
You're nicer than me.
I would go in because like,
But I wouldn't barge in on
room.
on a friend. Like I would only barge in on like Jay.
Yeah.
Be like knock. Like sometimes I'd be like knock, knock, knock. Are you decent? Or you're not jerking off in there or something. Like, do I want to see what I'm about to walk into? But like otherwise, fairly. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah.
And it sucks that it's like driving a wedge between him and his friend now. But hopefully they'll get over that because it's really dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. We have a show next week, but we will be off the week of May 27th, May 24th, because Shandy's going to France.
Mm-hmm. She's got big important things to do.
But we would love to hear your feedback for next week. The broadcasters3@gmail.com or 331-276-2373. We love feedback. I love when we get the emails from listeners asking if they're the asshole. If you think you've been an asshole recently, let us know. We promise that we will never read that on one of the shows that we're joined by everybody over Zoom. Unless you want us to. You want us to. I still have that story that I've been saving from for one of the live shows because I want to see everybody's reaction to it. I'm very excited about that. Our upcoming schedule for the next few weeks, we're going to be live next week on May 17th, and actually that will be post-meetup. We are not doing our usual live show from the meetup this year because we're all going to a baseball game that night, and Shandy Pants won't be here in person anyway. Wah, wah, wah. There might be something that happens cross-network live or whatever, but honestly I don't know because the game, again, starts at 6:30 at night, so we'll probably be there until 10 o'clock at night. I don't exactly know, but I'm guessing that's probably it's just not in the cards this year. However, we would love to invite everybody that's at the meetup and everybody that wasn't at the meetup and just wants to hang out. We're going to do a live Zoom show next week on May 17th. So we're going to do a live show next week, May 17th. Over Zoom, same link that we always use. I will send it out places. If you don't have it, message me directly. Messenger usually works, or in the Facebook group, or whatever. I'm just not going to post it on Twitter because I've learned that the hard way. But it's the same link we always use. We'll be live for everyone. We can all talk about how much fun we had. Maybe we can even play our live That's What She Said, so nobody really misses out on it because YOLO. YOLO.
YOLO.
Yeah, I messed that one up. Whatever, it's late. So we're just going to bring our live in-person show to live over Zoom for one more year, and then we will be back, hopefully in 2023, back to normal. So, and then a month or so later, we will actually be doing our birthday party the week of May 20... No, not May.
June.
June? Yeah. The week of June 20th. So someday that week, stay tuned for the date, we'll have our 6th birthday party and our 6th season. It's going to be crazy. So once again, in a row, in a list, we'll mark this down. May 17th, we are live on Zoom. We hope everybody will join us so we can talk about all the fun things from the meetup. Be prepared to talk on the camera. I don't care if you're on screen or not, but let's do that. It'll be so much fun, and I will be cognizant of everybody's time, so I will make sure that it's not a super long episode. I promise. We will be off the week of June 24th through the 27th because Shandy's going to France. We will be recording a normal episode on May 31st. We're going to be recording the movie episode on June 1st. And then we are off the following 2 weeks so Shandy can come live on the East Coast. And then the following week, someday that week, will be our birthday party. And I have already started to prepare a trivia because I know I was behind last year. We're going to Zoom the birthday party for everyone to be a part of it. And I'm going to prepare broadcast trivia like I did last year, but I did it like 2 episodes too late. So I am super excited, and it's going to be fun. All right. On that note, everybody, hooray. I can't wait to see you in person, Amanda, in a few days. Shandy, I can't wait to see you in person whenever I want to in a few months.
Yeah.
So on that note, though, thanks for listening. Thank you to the patrons, especially the ones that contribute a certain level, and that would be Eckhart Rickner, Tack from Tokyo, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, Ed the Creepy Mailman. If you'd like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/jayandjack. That will go towards the network in general. It supports everybody, so thank you so much. And yeah, watch some movies, eat some people, suck some dick. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe skip that part.
All of the
Suck
theme.
a dick.
I did say that. It just kind of rolled off the tongue, no pun intended. I mean, eat what you want. People, dicks, whatever you want to do. I'm just kidding.
As long as you have consent, it's fine.
As long as you have consent. Oh my goodness. I'm going to hate myself when I'm editing this. The things I say when I'm not drinking while we're recording, it's just crazy talk.
Oh, dear.
All right, on that note, in the name of our Lord Beyonce and the Tiger Tig Biddies, my name is Colleen. Shandy, can you breathe? Do you have COVID? Deep breaths. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Hi.